What is up, guys? It is the Redstone Scientist here. I have a very short video for you today, and that is a sort of pretty dang useless contraption. I thought it was really useful at first, and then I realized it wasn't. So first, let me tell you what it is. So basically what it is it's a very non-traditional item sorter. This is basically how, it's the same principle used that how items used to be sorted before hoppers were introduced into the game, and that basically uses the mechanics of entity stacking when it's the same item ID. So basically what I want to tell you first is the reason I made this is because it was meant to be a rare item sorter, so that all you would need is one of any given item, and you would put it in the dropper here, and it would be, and then you could still sort that item. And I was like, so you would do that so that you wouldn't have to use 18 or 41 of whatever item you have in your sorting system. So if you're not familiar with that, basically in a traditional sorting system, you've got this one hopper here where, if let's say we're sorting hoppers, we would have like some blank item in here, and then either 18 or 41 of the item we want to sort, depending on what design you're using. But what I totally forgot about is that you can actually just have one of the item you want to sort and then fill this up with enough to extend the signal strength. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out Impulse SV's item overflow design, which I can link in the description. But then so I completely forgot that you could just use one item, so it made this whole contraption worthless. But the mechanics that it uses, I still think are pretty dang cool. So I'm going to show it to you anyway. I just think it's a really neat concept. So first of all, let me demonstrate it to you first, right? And I do have this working 100% of the time, I believe. I think it's almost 100% of the time. So let's say we have, so basically our item stream, right, would funnel into this bottom dropper right here. It's not really set up for that. This is not compacted or anything, but hopefully, you know, just imagine that all the items that we want to sort go into here. So all the items we want to sort go into here. We've got stone. Let me turn this down, it's really loud. So we've got stone, and we've got 16 creeper heads, okay? Now, randomly, either stone or a creeper head will be selected. This is just to simulate what it's like when we have an steady item stream. Now, this is an incredibly slow sorter. It goes extremely slowly. Then in order to get the item you want to sort, you just put it in this top dropper. It's going to come back around in a second. You just put one of the item in this dropper, so that's creeper head. So basically, let me show you the process of what it's doing. First of all, the output is right here. All the stone is going to get put into this chest. Sorry, it's lagging because of all the item frames elsewhere. And all of the creeper heads are going to get put into this chest. And it pretty much works 100% of the time. So there's actually some really interesting stuff going on here. The first thing that happens is these two droppers activate at the exact same time because of this redstone line right here. All right, so the first thing that happens is both the item to be sorted and the original selector item, basically what item you're using as reference, get dispensed at the same time. They both fall into this water stream and land on this pressure plate. Now that is a light-weighted pressure plate. Let's watch again. Oh, whoops, what got dispensed to me. But, alright, so both the items get dispensed, right? And they're resting here on this pressure plate. Then the minecart gets sent along. The reason why we're using a slime block is because the minecart needs to always have enough velocity to go across this track and skip over this pressure plate, right? Because if it's too slow, it'll just stop on this pressure plate and it won't continue along the track. We need it to go so fast that it actually goes through here so that the pressure plate doesn't stop it. But anyway, it's a hopper minecart, so it will pick up these two items. And what's interesting, something that I learned, is that those two items will always be picked up in the exact same order. And that is, let's wait till it, yeah. So the first thing it picks up is the stone, because that's at the bottom, right? So that actually hits the pressure plate first before the creeper head. So that will always be picked up first. Basically, it's determined by which item arrives there first, and it will always pick it up in the exact same order. So it's going to pick up these two items, and then, no matter what, okay, the first item is going to get, basically then there are two outputs for this, right? First, it takes whatever item is sorted and puts it in this hopper no matter what. So no matter what, it will output exactly one item into here, and it'll be the first item in the minecart hopper, which will always be the item to be sorted. And that will go in there. Then, it only has time to put one item in there. Then, no matter what, because the last item it will have picked up is the reference item, it will always drop into this hopper and go back into the dropper. So we basically just use that reference item cycled around many, many times. So now let's look at what actually happens when the first item is sucked out of the hopper. Basically, the way we detect whether or not the item is the same is by using this light-weighted pressure plate. So if we take a look here, if I'm standing on this, it counts as 1 signal strength. If I'm standing on this with another item, it counts as 2. And if I'm standing on this with 3 items, it counts as 3. But if I have 2 hoppers there, so that's 1 and that's 2, it briefly turns to 2, but then it turns back into 1 because those 2 hoppers stack together. So that's actually just one entity, and it's counted as one entity in the redstone. So basically what we do here is that, first of all, we have the 1 dust, right? If only this one goes off and not the second one, this circuit right here is basically a pulse length detector. So because when you have, remember over here, it was just like for a split second we had, did you see it just went to 2 and then right back to 1? So we need to account for that. So when it goes to 2, we have this pulse length detector here. So that the redstone needs to go all the way around into here, and this piston needs to be extended. So that basically makes it detect that the pulse is long enough. So if we have a strength of 2 for a long enough time, okay, then we get a monostable circuit here giving a pulse to this T flip-flop, which will spit out this redstone block, which will lock this hopper, which goes into the creeper head chest. So that means that if indeed we get a signal strength of 2, that means that we have 2 different items there. And it goes through the pulse lengthener, or pulse detector, and so this hopper gets locked, so that when the sorting item goes into this hopper, it cannot go down, because items and hoppers will always prefer to go down than to the side. But it locks the one that is going down, so it automatically goes into the side here and goes into this chest. But if we only get a signal strength of 1, or, you know, this pulse lengthener doesn't complete the circuit, then we don't get a output to this T flip-flop, which, by the way, resets itself a number of ticks later so that it can do the next item cycle. But it doesn't spit out the redstone block, so it will automatically get sucked down into this hopper before it even has a chance to go to the side. Then over here, this is just a circuit that helps with the activation of it, just to cut all of the signals and so forth. This is a, what do you call it? A falling edge detector, so that only when this redstone turns off, it goes around here, and this basically just starts the cycle again. This line of repeaters here is basically just in charge of delaying it so that the minecart propulsion only happens when it's ready to keep the cycle going on this clock. Anyway, it goes into here, and it dispenses the items, and it drops this block out so that the hopper minecart can land on here. The slime block extends. It's all timed very precisely. It took me quite a while to get this right. It's extremely slow, but I think it uses some pretty dang cool mechanics, and these mechanics, you know, used to be really common back before the redstone update and we got hoppers, but I'm actually pretty happy with how this thing works. I mean, it works flawlessly. Almost flawlessly. I really thought it worked flawlessly. I guess I need to play with the timing on this pulse lengthener, but I think that's the only problem. But yeah, if you guys found this video useful, if you have any ideas for what this could possibly be used for practically, please let me know in the comments section below. I really want to use it because I think it's such a cool concept, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm not sure what kind of video I'll have for you on Friday. It'll either be TRS's World or Saved Folder or some Wesley update. I don't know what it's going to be. Anyway, guys, if you found this video interesting, please leave a like, a comment, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to check out the jam-packed description for more science. I will see you next time. And of course, thanks for watching.